Okay, so this is the tutorial for how to use the sound bag. This is how it is typically stored. Headphones may or may not be attached if I'm not there. To attach headphones, unzip here, and there is a plug. You can see right there. Make sure, don't plug it into the aux port like I did. Make sure it goes into the headphone jack, which is the top one there. You do have, it's kind of hard to see, there's a headphone adjustment knob, which is also for some of the menus. So let's say we're going to lav up one person and we're going to need a boom. So we take our transmitter. You will unscrew this. All right, so it unscrews this way. This will open up and rotate. You don't need to go any further. You can take this off all the way, but you don't need to. Got some old batteries in there. If they're in there when you find it in storage, assume they are dead. And so it will be time to put some new batteries in. And go ahead and drop those in there. Make sure they're both facing down. Obviously it's on the back here. Positives down, negatives at the top. And then to power it on, you can just tap it. That will turn it on. I say tap. Why isn't this? There we go. As soon as the lights are on, you can let go and it will power on, but the wireless transmission will not be on. You can see this symbol in the corner here. It's blinking. There's no transmission data. So what you want to do is either, when you turn it on properly, you just hold it to power off, and you hold, and it says hold for RF on, hold for 3 seconds, and then bang. Now we are transmitting wirelessly, and you can see by that little wave wireless symbol there. And so what we want to do to start with, first step will be to mic the talent up, and you'll put one microphone on here. I've already got some sticky stuff on there, but I'll show you how to do that later. And we'll plug this in. There's only one way to plug it in, so you can't mess it up. Just twist until you finally get it in the slot. Boom, now we're connected. Now you can, this has a record function. You can just stick this on somebody and start recording immediately. Levels are set on here. You should pretty much never have to mess with this. Let's see, we'll go into the menu here, go down and say record, and then bang, now we're recording. And there is a memory card in here. It's a good idea to format that every time, of course. So we'll go through here and hit menu and stop. So we have a clip. If we wanted to turn, there's two different menus. One is there's a power button menu, and then there's also another menu. So if you can't find it in one, go to the other. So in the power button menu, there's some quicker access things here. RF on, so we can, let's say you turned it on, the thing's already on, and instead of having to reset it, you can just hit the power button to get into this menu. See RF on, select, and then, or you can turn it off. We'll go ahead and leave that on because we want to transmit. And obviously you can't transmit without an antenna. So the antennas and microphones I keep in this same compartment here. And it doesn't matter which kind. One's jointed and the other's not. I typically just use the whip antennas, the ones that are not jointed, since this is going to be going in somebody's pocket and it's the tiniest little bit less bulky. So put that on here. Okay, so this is set. Next thing is going to be to turn on our receiver. So we have 4 channels, or you can turn these into diversity mode to where 2 antennas will be receiving. Whichever one gets the best signal is the one that it will let pass through into the mixer. So since we just have one, we can get away with just 1 antenna, but if you want to be extra sure to get the best recording possible, go ahead and use 2. So 2 on these guys is always just a good rule of thumb. So once we screw those on, we actually have, so to turn the mixer on is 1 switch, and I have it set currently to where to turn the wireless receivers on is a separate switch. In case you ever want to record with just the boom, these don't have to be on and you're not wasting power. So to turn the mixer on, if you've got very nimble fingers, you can do it through here. You'll feel it if you stick your finger right there. There is a switch. And if you look through the side here, you see the power switch right there. So let's flip that on. That's right, we don't have a battery. So We'll open this up. Typically, I leave the batteries out of it. We have 2 of these currently. So I like to slip this through, and then contact points are there. So you will just slide this little, it's called a battery cup, onto here. And as soon as I do that, this should get power and kick on. It does. And then the separate switch I keep in this side compartment here. This is a separate switch where everything, all the power is plugged into. You can see, got a lot of different things, but all you should need to worry about is this switch. Flip that on. And okay, so we've got this one on, which is great. That's how I had that set up. This one didn't come on automatically. It will remember if this was powered on via this button or not. If you want to have this one come on automatically too, make sure that this power switch is on and hold down this power button, or just tap it. It comes on immediately. So now they're both on. And now, when I turn this off, you see it's green illuminated. They both go off, and now they'll both come back on. And so we're not going to need this one, so we can go ahead and hold it. And we're powered off. Now if I flip the switch, this one won't come back on until I use this button. So we are connected. You can see it's hearing my voice. If I tap the microphone, we're getting signal. If we're in a new location and we want to do a scan for the best frequency in the area, what I like to do is I'll turn this off so it's not transmitting, so that this, when it scans, has a clear slate to work with. So we'll go to the menu, setup, and we're looking for quick scan. Oh, Smart Tune, yeah, that's what it's called. Smart Tune. Let's see, there's 3 individual blocks. Block 470, block 19, and block 20. All 3 of those grouped together is called band A1. So if we want to scan literally everything that we have available to us, you want to scan band A1, hit menu to go, and it will scan literally every frequency available to this, which is triple the amount that normal things have to work with. All right, so it picked the absolute best frequency. Okay, now it's asking us to sync. These transmitters have a little infrared port right there. This is on and ready to be synced. So you want to make sure that this IR port right there, you can see it says IR port, is lined up with this. And it's kind of hard to do, but you got to aim it like 2 guns at each other. So we'll put this right there. Once they're lined up, go ahead and we'll sync this. So I hit sync, it's going, hold this there. And it didn't take. So we'll try again. This is not going to move until we tell it OK, which is going to be the menu button. So we'll try hitting sync again. And we're looking on this screen. Okay, now IR sync, OK. So we're good to go. And we can see, and it'll ask us to do a second one, and then it'll ask if the first transmitter is on, and then you can tell it yes or no. And when you do a second frequency, it'll scan one that won't interfere with the first one. You can get some, it's called intermodulation. It's kind of like 2 frequencies that have harmonics with each other, so you could actually get a little bit of crossover, but once you've synced up one, it will only search the frequencies that are a good harmonic fit for the first one. These don't talk to each other in pairs, unfortunately, when they're disconnected like this. The reason that it didn't ask us if there was a second one is because I have this set in switch mode, I believe, which is right now it's only going to be looking for a single transmitter. So this one, when I did the scan a second time, it saw that this was on, and so it didn't pick that frequency because it's like, oh, there's heavy interference on that channel. So that's why you want to do the scan with this off, because you might actually already be on the best channel. And now, because it's different, I'm gonna have to go switch it. So I'm on 520 600, and oh, that's not too far from where we're at. So if I want to change the frequency, I can come in here and do it manually. So we're on 520 600. Back. And now, ta-da, we are getting levels. We're getting signals here when I talk. Ba, ba, ba. So we've got that set up. You would put this on the talent, typically in a front or a back pocket. You would peel off the sticky and put it on the inside. I like to put it right around here. If they've got glasses or something like that, you might put it a little bit off to the side. That's also fine. So now that we're set, we are ready to record. If something is not functioning, what you can do, I've got everything configured as a preset. So this is a touch screen. Hit the 3 bars in the top right corner. And if this will expose properly. So we're going to go to presets. It's in this first menu. And we are going to load a preset. So right now I don't have anything saved, so I'm gonna save to number 1, and I'm gonna call this is where we use this little volume scroll wheel down here. You can move through all these options. I'm gonna call this Atom Default. Hit OK. Saving settings. So now if I go mess up anything else, I can just go 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, scroll down to Atom Default and press the knob in, tell it OK, and kaboom. So if you get lost, that's how you get back to here. So now, great, we're set up, ready to go. You can just hit the record button and it will do fine. These I have set to pretty much just be how loud you want to be listening to a certain channel. The reason that 2 of these are lighting up, you'll see if you want to cycle through some views here, you just tap on this main section of the window here. This tells us that you can see only channel 5 is currently recording. So we can record, that's great, that's just this. I have the boom plugged in here into channel 1. So if we plug this into the boom, now we see we have some signal coming in on channel 1 as well. But we're not recording it. It's coming in, but it's not being recorded. That red flashing, don't worry about that. It literally doesn't matter because this recorder is actually very good. So if we want to start recording track 1 as well, you hit the button. It brings up this menu. You can see here you've got an option to arm. That's what you're looking for. Click arm, go back to home, and now you can see channel 1 and channel 5 are recording. I usually leave the boom here, and then the audio channels are in order, just like they are here. So this is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're getting that through loud and clear. These are basically audio knobs to change what's coming through your headphones. We only want to be listening to channel 5, and so and channel 1. So even though you turn this knob down, you'll notice it doesn't have any effect on this main screen. This knob I've got set to only control what you're hearing through the headphones. I've got levels set in such a way that you literally should not have to touch anything. All the levels are set, and this can capture all kinds of levels, very loud to very quiet, and these should never need to be adjusted. So you're pretty much good to go. Now you're recording. If we want to record, we hit this little toggle switch up. We're now in recording mode, and it will hear my voice through this, test 1, 2, 3, and hear my voice through this, test 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we want to stop, we press in on this button. And you'll notice it blinks for a few seconds, and I don't know if you noticed down in the bottom here it said copying. There is a backup recording on this little SanDisk thing. It's blinking orange. That's as soon as you stop recording, it will transfer and make a backup copy on this immediately. And if you record for a long take, when you stop, you might have to wait sometimes 2-3 minutes if it was like a 15-20 minute recording for it to finish transferring to this drive. But even while this is on, you could pop this out and you could go make a backup somewhere. This is a little backup kit, got spare batteries, a spare memory card for the transmitter. This is Moleskin. If you ever have to, if somebody ever rips this off the microphone, this Moleskin is what keeps it from rustling. So if you take this Moleskin, and you might have to put some new on a microphone, but immediately after you take it off from somebody, if you've got time and you've got your wits about you, you can use this top stick. So instead of having to like cut more Moleskin and all that stuff, you peel one side of this double stick tape. It's actually toupee tape. And you put it on the back, and then you've got another one totally fresh, ready to go. I have sound friends that they try to see who can have the record for stacking the most pieces. I've seen these stacked like 1/4 of an inch thick because they've used it like 50 times and never had to put another piece of Moleskin on there. What's next? So you'll notice some of these transmitters, I left some of the other ones inside. If somebody doesn't have pockets, they're wearing a dress, or for whatever reason their pockets are full, you've got some of these belt clips. You've got big ones and small ones, it doesn't matter. So what you do, and you'll notice on the back there are these 4 indentations. That's where these tap screws, set screws, will go in. So you can slot this up like this, or you can slot it down on the bottom so that the microphone is sticking downwards. So you just slide this on, screw that in there, and bam, now you have a belt clip if you want it. So if we wanted to add a second microphone to this, we'll go to menu, cycle through, menu, whoops, that's not what I wanted. That'll cycle through some different views, so we'll go menu. That tells us the frequency we're currently on, menu, and what we're looking for is div mode. So what is div mode? This on the bottom actually has 2 outputs. We got 1, 2, and then power. So this is for receiving 2 different channels. If we wanted to set a second microphone up, if you're just doing 2 and you know you're only going to do 2 all day long, if you want the best signal possible, I would do this one, which is doing diversity mode. So whichever antenna is getting the best signal, that's the one that it will switch to, and it'll switch back and forth constantly looking for the best signal. And then you could set a second microphone to do that. That's how you would get the best signal possible. If we need 3 microphones or 4 microphones, you're going to have to switch one or both of these up differently. So we'll go to setup, div mode, hit enter. Div mode ratio, so that one is its ratio, whichever ratio is coming better to the antenna, it will go. If we go down, it will go to switch. So we want switch mode because we're going to add a second microphone. And now when we go in the menu, if we go back, hit menu select, we are on number 1, which is what we're currently tuned to, and then number 2, which is where this antenna is currently listening, and it will transmit. See, look, channel number 6 is down now. So it's not lighting up for us at all because it's getting no signal. So we'll go through here and change that back. And you would do the scan just the same way, or the smart tune just the same way we did before. I have this little thing here. This is for hanging headphones on. And then also, if you'll notice, when this strap is around your neck, there's a little magnetic thing here. And that's what corresponds to this thing on the boom pole. It's actually stuck to the table. So you can do that, and you should be all set and can go totally hands-free to mic people up or do whatever you need to do. If the audio through your headphones is too loud, like I mentioned, you've got a little thing here, and it actually is a Lego wheel knob, and you can see the headphone gain that I'm adjusting. If you need to change the gain output, the signal strength on this, because you're getting cutouts, so we'll go to menu, and we will go to gain is the level of this. Don't need to adjust that. Frequency, looking for power. Transmitter power. Hit the menu select. We're on 50. That should be fine unless you know you need to go more. Battery life will obviously be reduced, so you can change it up to 100. 100's the most powerful. And ta-da, now we're transmitting at double the power. It will give you quite a bit more range. So this is where the XLRs are plugged in. Make sure to pull these out. You have to push this knob in before you pull out. They do lock. And then if there's a power connection, let's say something's not powering on properly, check these cables. They go down through here into the bag and actually come out this little Velcro thing at the bottom. So I've got this set up to where it's all nice and clean, but if you actually need to get something, you're actually going to have to like break this kit open a little bit. There are zippers and compartments. However you want to route cables, there's really no right way or wrong way to do it. And then I keep this as a little storage bag. I've got two more transmitters in there. Typically keep them in here. We will need to come all the way off because this thing's in the way. So you can see there's our memory card. Be very careful when you plug this into a computer that you do not ever write a file to this card or format it on the computer. That will potentially corrupt everything you have recorded on this. Drag it onto the, put it on the computer, drag a file off of it, and then eject it immediately. You run the risk of the operating system writing some data files to this, like log or indexing files. You don't want that to happen if at all possible. I have not found a way to prevent the computer from doing that outright, but if you can find a way, do it, because we use that if we can't do anything else. The transmission's not working properly. And so now if we want to take the memory card out to offload to a computer, under the battery compartment, pull up on this to open this up. Battery compartment, there's no batteries in here. You can put AA's if you are in an emergency, but then the wireless stuff won't work. Anyhow, you actually have to push on this thing and then rotate it open. The memory card is under there. And be sure to format it if you're going to be starting a new set of recordings. Oh, that's also where the power connects to the actual mixer. So, if all else fails, check this. One useful thing that I have set up, if you ever need to call a take, this can be really helpful for editing. There's this little switch right here. If you press it this way, Slate Mic on, it's listening through these three holes right here, and it's literally sending your voice on, overriding it to every single channel. So if you need to make a note, an audio note, that's very helpful. So as soon as you start rolling 12 alpha, take 1, and then it's a toggle. So unfortunately you can't just hold it. So you have to do that, turn it on, say what you're gonna do, turn it off. And then if you go back the other way, this is like some file stuff. So if you want to make a project and mess around with that, you're free to. There's also an app called the Wingman app, which makes it a lot easier to go in and name tracks, and all that stuff will import. So if you've got a wireless lav on one person, say Doug, Kiefer, Walter, and Adam, then you can go in and actually name those tracks that. So when you import it into Premiere or Resolve, they will actually be named that in the file, in the polywave file. To format a card, SD card. That's what we want. Menu number 2, SD card, edit, format. Let me know if you have any other questions. If I'm out of town, you can text me. Thanks. Hope this is helpful. Bye.